Hey guys, I hope you're all well. So this first part of the reading vlog, I'm going to be talking about my my last read of April. So this is the last book I read in April. I only managed to read 2 books, so this is my second book that I read this month. It's almost May now, so it's a couple of days off, and I'm going to be starting a new book today because I finished my current book this morning, and yeah, I'm going to let you know how I feel about it. So let's get this vlog started. But the last book I read this month was All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. It's like a tragic young adult sort of vibe. It has a lot of dark topics, so definitely check the trigger warnings before you decide to read this book. It is quite depressing and sad, and it has a lot of different topics that are needing to be talked about and are now probably a lot more talked about than they probably were when this came out. But I absolutely love this book. I really enjoyed it. I would say that unfortunately the ending was sort of not too like how I would have written it myself. It wasn't like too great. I personally think that it was slightly rushed, but also at the same time it was to be expected because of the fact it's a tragedy. But also, other than that, I feel like the way it ended sort of dragged. I feel like the way Violet sort of closes off the novel, because it's a POV with Violet and Finch, so they are in it, and she ends it. Her point of view ends the story, and I feel like she sort of Niven drags it out quite a lot when it wasn't really necessary. I feel like they could have ended it a lot earlier than they did, especially because of the fact that the ending was rushed. But I did really enjoy it, and I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really actually enjoyed the story. I think the ending just sort of lacked a little bit, but that wouldn't change my opinion on the book. I still think it was a brilliant book, and I did really enjoy it. And I love the characters Violet and Finch. I feel like at some points I sort of didn't like them, but for the majority of the time I really enjoyed their point of view and their perspective, and they sort of just spoke a lot for a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people could relate to them as characters. Yeah. I haven't watched the film yet. I don't know if I will watch the film, but that is on Netflix, so I might choose to watch it. So yeah, that was my last read of April. I'm now gonna pick my well, actually technically it might be my second to last read, but I know that I'm not going to finish this next book in April, so we'll say it's my first May read. So I'm going to get my reading jar where I pick a book from the jar, and I'm going to pick it, and I'm going to show you which book I've got next to read. So that's what we'll be reading in this vlog. I think it's just the lighting, but my hair looks really dark today. It looks like really dark brown, but anyway, here is my reading jar. So this has every book on my shelves in it, and what I haven't read yet. I'm thinking of making one for rereads, so like things that I've already read that I might want to read again. So yeah, I'm thinking of doing that, but I'm not too sure yet. So for now, we'll just shake this one and see which book it is. I get so excited for the day when I get to pick a new book, because I'm like, ooh, what's it gonna be? Anyway, so yeah, so we'll just take off the lid, and I'm just gonna pick one out. I don't even like to look. I like to pick like something really random. Nothing's really calling to me. Ooh. So, oh, I think I know what this is, just from how it looks, and I'm really excited. It is sort of another depressing one, I think, but let's see. So my next read, my first read of May 2023, is going to be Before the Coffee, oh, I've just ripped it, Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I am so excited to read this book. I've had it on my shelf for probably about a year now, so I'm really glad that I finally got round to it. So I'm just going to go grab the book, and I'll show you if you don't know what the book is or what it's about. So I'll just grab that now. So this is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. It is a Japanese novel, I think. And I'm really excited to read it. It's actually quite short, so I might actually be able to read it quite quickly. Sorry about that, my mum literally just turned up, but I'm back now. So I'll just tell you about Before the Coffee Gets Cold. It's a short novel, it's a short read, it's got like 213 pages. It's Japanese fiction, and it's basically sort of where the person gets the chance to go back to the past, I believe, but in order to experience that and to go to the past, they have to have drank a cup of coffee, because they're in like, it's set in a cafe where you can travel back to the past and like make amends or something, I think, or you can just go back to the past. And when you're there, because you're in a cafe, and I think you're able to like speak to people from your past, so you have to make sure that you have finished your coffee before it gets cold, as it says in the title. But I am super happy to be reading this. Look how gorgeous the cover is. I absolutely love the fact that it's like all glistening and it's like this. I absolutely love books that have this like sheen on them. But I'll read you the blurb. It is, in a small back alley in Tokyo, there is a cafe which has been serving carefully brewed coffee for more than 100 years. But this coffee shop offers its customers a unique experience, the chance to travel back in time. In Before the Coffee Gets Cold, we meet 4 visitors, each of whom is hoping to make use of the cafe's time-travelling offer in order to confront the lover who left them behind, receive a letter from their husband whose memory has begun to fade, or see their sister for the last time, and get the chance to meet a daughter they never got the chance to know. But the journey into the past does not come without risks. Customers must sit in a particular seat, they cannot leave the cafe, and finally they must return to the present before the coffee gets cold. Toshikazu Kawaguchi's beautiful moving story explores the age-old question, what would you change if you could travel back in time? More importantly, who would you want to meet, maybe for one last time? So this is like really going to put me in my feels, because there's so many people who have gone that I'd love to get a chance to speak to, or even people that are still living and who I want to have one last conversation with. So it's going to get me in my feels. I feel like it's going to be quite an emotional book, but I do feel like it's going to be a really good one, and I have heard so many good things about this book. I'm super excited to read it. And yeah, so that is Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I will be reading that throughout this reading vlog, so yeah, let's get. So guys, in the last clip you saw me reading Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I've just finished the first story of the book, which is about the lovers. It's such an interesting story, and the way that Kawaguchi is able to reveal certain plot points, it's really interesting, especially in such a short story. I feel like you're really able to understand the characters and get a feel for what their life and their personality is sort of like in such a short period of time. And I feel like the way he reveals the mystery around the legend of the coffee shop is really interesting as well. So currently I'm enjoying it. It is one of those books that you've got to be into, you've got to engage with. I feel like if you can't engage with the story or the book, then you're probably not going to enjoy it. But if you find the premise of it interesting, then it's definitely something you can get into and really enjoy. So I'm going to carry on reading. I am 57 pages in, so I'm going to get on to the next story. So yeah. Hey guys, so I just thought I'd pop on to this reading vlog. I'm sorry it's not been that great of a reading vlog. I've just been like, I've actually thought that I'd lost my camera battery charger, but I just found it then, so it's now on charge, so my content should get slightly better. But I'm in the middle of Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I'm actually on page 78, so I've got like, it's about 200 pages, so I've probably got like 130 more pages to read. I've just finished work, so I'm gonna get straight into reading. I always have a YouTube video on in the background, so I'm currently watching Alexa Ray, and I'm gonna get started on reading this. So far I'm enjoying it. Like, you actually feel like, even though it's such a short story, you do connect to the characters, but not in like a, like, I wouldn't say I'm attached to them or like I have any sort of like feelings towards them. I just feel like you're able to understand their personality or their character a lot more than you would typically in a short story. I feel like when I read Cursed Bunny, I feel like you didn't really have much time to get used to the characters, but I feel like even though these are short stories about people going to this cafe, the waitresses and the workers there and the regular customers, sort of, you get used to them and you learn more and more about them as you read on. I'm currently on the story about the husband and the wife, and that one's a really interesting one. You definitely get to learn about the characters a lot more in this one compared to the first one. I've got 2 more stories to read, but I've not got to like a major part in the husband and the wife yet. So yeah, but I'm really enjoying it. It's definitely a book that you've got to engage with. You've got to be interested in the like concepts and the premise, otherwise I feel like you wouldn't get the best out of it. I feel like you've got to be really like intuitive and like perceptive and really interested in that sort of concept, sort of think about maybe what you would do if you went to the past. Otherwise I feel like it doesn't like hook you. It sort of just like is something easy to read and something easy to like imagine. So yeah, but I am enjoying it, and yeah, I don't think it's going to be a 5-star for me. I think it might be like a 4-star, maybe a 3.5. But for me, that isn't necessarily bad. That's sort of just like, maybe just like either average or like above average. So yes, gonna get to reading. So guys, I've just finished an appointment, so I've decided to grab myself a Tim Hortons, and I'm just going to sit here for a bit before I go to work and read my book and have my hot chocolate. So as you know, I've been reading Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I'm on page, let me have a look actually, where can I put my hot chocolate? Tim Hortons hot chocolate is so good. If you haven't tried it, you need to try it. Let me just have a look. I'm on page 94, so I'm almost halfway through this book. There's only, let me double check, there's 213 pages in this book, so it's a very short book. It's probably taken me longer than I expected to read it, but I just feel like it's something I've got to be in the mood to pick up, and sometimes I'm just not in the mood to read it at that moment in time. So yeah, it's definitely something that you've got to be in the mood to read. But yeah, I'm going to get on with reading this, and I'm going to drink my hot chocolate, and yeah, so let's go. Hey guys, so I'm in a bit of a different location today because I've just started my holiday in Spain, which I will be vlogging for you all. But today I'm gonna be finishing off this reading vlog. I've finally finished Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I did enjoy it. I feel like it's something that you've got to really engage with. It's not something that will hook you, I don't think it's meant to be something that will hook you from the beginning right through to the end. It's sort of like short stories which you could pick up anywhere. You don't necessarily have to finish them there and then. They're not fast paced or anything. And what I really liked about it is that all the characters throughout all of the short stories are the same. So you're sort of getting the perspective of a lot of different characters without actually moving without the surrounding area of the environment. I really liked the cafe setting. It was so like wholesome and like really made me enjoy it, and all the whole like time traveling concept I really liked as well. There's some really meaningful quotes in here, and also some really meaningful stories, and it's so interesting, you know, getting different people's perspectives and dependent on their personality or like who they are and the relationship with the other person that they're trying to contact. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. I wouldn't go as far to say, I'm real picky with like giving things 4 stars or even 5 stars. So for me, because of the fact it didn't hook me, I think I'm going to give it a 3.75 stars. But the writing, Kawaguchi's writing was absolutely stunning. It was brilliant. All the little phrases I've got, let me see if I can find a good one now. Water flows from high places to low places. That is the nature of gravity. Emotions also seem to act according to gravity. When in the presence of someone with whom you have a bond, and to whom you have entrusted your feelings, it is hard to lie and get away with it. The truth just wants to come flowing out. This is especially the case when you're trying to hide your sadness or vulnerability. It is much easier to conceal sadness from a stranger or from someone you don't trust. So yeah, that's just a little snippet into sort of the writing that he, like the writing style. It's really nice. It's a lovely concept, lovely stories, but it's definitely something that wouldn't hook me, and it wouldn't make me want to keep coming back to it in the sense. But I did really enjoy it, and seeing all the different characters' perspectives was really great. So yeah, I'm going to leave this reading vlog here. I really hope you enjoyed it. I know I only read 1 book, but I'm hoping that you still enjoyed seeing what I did during this time. But yeah, I hope to see you all soon, and wait out for my reading vlog, which will be, not my reading vlog, my holiday vlog, which will hopefully be coming out within the next 2 weeks time. So 2 weeks time from now, a new video will be up. So yeah, bye guys.